I know a gal named Betty Boop. Oh, how she can boop, boop, boopy doo. She loves to dance, loves to sing. In fact, Betty take a chance on most any old thing. Most every night right in this hall. Just let that music play. And Betty'll get on that floor. This is what she'll say.
What's she say, Doc?
Oh, she's got plenty to say.
How am I doing?
Hey,
Tweet, 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 twah, twah. Oh, how am I doing?
hey!
Oh, gee, baby, oh, sure. Now, I'm not bragging, but it's understood that everything I do, what you do good. Oh, how am I doing? Tweet, 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 twah, twah.
How am I doing? Tweet, 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 twat, twat. Oh, how am I doing? Oh, gee, baby, you're sure. Now, I'll admit I'm not the best in town, but I'll be the best till the best comes round. How am I doing? Yeah. How am I doing? Tweeting, twatting, floating, yeah, how am I doing? Oh, gee, baby, you're sure. See, I only meant to do a little bit. You done made me like it, and I just can't quit. How am I doing? Tweet, 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 twat, twat. I heard. I heard. Oh, I heard. Yes, I heard. You know, it wasn't told to me. I only heard. Oh, I heard. Yes, I heard. But they didn't buzz it to me. I only heard.
You know, he said that she said, but he didn't say where she got it. But if she said what he said, then I think I'm going to stop it. Yes, I heard. It wasn't told to me. I only
Come here with me. Come on.
Great.
Well, boys, I hate to break up a good party, but you can't keep a woman waiting, can you? You know how it is, boys.
I bet we do, Mr. Hogarth. That's right, J.J.
I'll say you can't, J.J.
I can see you all understand, all right. Well, believe you me, boys, I've had the time of my life tonight. And speaking of time, I have here a 14-carat, 17-jewel timepiece. And that's only right, because the man I'm giving it to is a 14-carat, 17-jewel cashier. Pass it along to him, boys.
Oh, that's a beautiful watch, J.J.
Oh, wonderful.
So, Billy, beautiful watch.
Chris? Read what's engraved inside, Chris.
To my friend Christopher Cross, in token of 25 years of faithful service, from J.J. Hogarth, 1909-1934.
Speed! Speak up, Chris, speak up. Come on, Chris, speed.
Well, I hardly know what to say, J.J. This, it's beautiful. I never expected to own a watch like this. No, sir, well, all I can say is that we've got the best boss in New York.
For he's a jolly good fellow, for he's a jolly good fellow, for he's a jolly good fellow, which nobody can deny.
Congratulations, old boy, congratulations.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you, my old friend. God bless you.
Thank you.
Have a smoke before I go.
Well, I don't usually, J.J.
Go ahead and try it. It's made special for me. $1 piece. Here, Charlie. Oh, thanks. Thank you. You're not superstitious, are you, Chris?
No, sir, no.
Now, don't break up a good party just because I've got to go. Everything is charged to J.J.
Oh, that's very nice of you, boy. Very nice of you.
So drink all you want. Only don't come in late Monday morning with a hangover.
Oh, don't worry, we won't. We'll be right back on time.
Well, good night, boys.
Good night, boys. Thanks again for a small party. Let's see that watch. That's a beautiful present.
Oh, boy, aren't you a lucky I'll treasure this for the rest of my life.
I'll bet you will.
Really, I never expected to own anything.
Hey, fellas, look! Look! Come here! Hurry! Get a load of that dame. That's JJ's wife? The boss is stepping out.
Say, if I had to do he's got, I'd step out too. I feel a little laundry tonight.
Nothing like the smell of spring.
Which way do you go, Chris?
Well, I guess I'll take the East Side subway. Gets me to Brooklyn a little quicker. Hey, you haven't got an umbrella. Now, I'll take you to your bus.
Oh, no, that's out of your way.
Oh, I don't mind walking, fresh air, spring. Hey, I'm a little drunk.
Well, never mind. I'll catch the next one. You go on over to the subway.
Oh, I don't mind waiting. I feel kind of lonely tonight. Say, Charlie, you suppose J.J. is running around with that young lady?
It looks that way.
I wonder what it's like.
What, Chris?
Well, to be loved by a young girl like that. Nobody ever looked at me like that. Not even when I was young.
Yes, when we're young, we have dreams that never pan out, but we go on dreaming.
When I was young, I wanted to be an artist. I dreamt I was going to be a great painter someday. So, I'm a cashier.
Do you still paint?
Yeah, every Sunday.
Well, that's one way to kill time. You know, Sunday's one day of the week that I don't like. I never know what to do with myself.
Well, why don't you come over tomorrow and see me?
Thanks, Chris. I'll do that. Good night, Chris.
Good night, Charlie. See you tomorrow.
Yeah, good night.
Stopped raining.
Yeah, half hour ago.
So, which way is it to the East Side Subway?
Round the corner, past the L, 4 blocks.
Oh, thank you, officer. I guess I got turned around. These streets are all mixed up in Greenwich Village.
Yeah.
Is he hurt?
I'll go call a policeman.
No, wait! Wait!
Officer! Officer!
Where'd they go?
In that direction.
What does he look like?
I don't know.
I didn't see his face.
He took $15. He didn't believe it was all I had, so he began pushing me around. Then this gentleman ran in and knocked him down.
That's right, officer. He was right there.
I couldn't hold him. He got up and ran.
Wait here.
Come on, let's get out of here.
Well, you have to wait for the officer.
I don't want to get my name in the newspaper, do you?
Well, the newspaper?
Sure, we'll have to go down to the station house and make a complaint. And every time they make an arrest, they send detectives to your house for weeks. Oh, it's a nuisance. Won't you take me home?
Why, yes. Sure, that is, if you think that...
Well, here's where I live. Oh, I'm sorry I can't ask you to come up, but I share my apartment with another girl, Millie. Good night, and thanks for everything.
Don't you want a cup of coffee?
All right.
Hello, Kitty.
Hello, Tiny. Oh, this is Mr.
Cross.
Glad to know you, Mr. Cross.
Oh, how do you do?
You seen Johnny?
No, not since he left here.
2 coffees, please.
Oh, I think I'll change my mind. I could stand a drink. A rum Collins.
One rum Collins?
Yes.
Oh, come on. Keep me company.
Well, you see, I've already had a good deal of champagne.
You want champagne?
Oh, no. Make mine the same. Ever since I first saw you, I was wondering what your name was. Kitty.
It's really Catherine. Catherine March. My friends call me Kitty. What do your friends call you?
Chris.
Chris Cross. Chris Cross.
Yes, the boys tease me about it, but I don't mind.
Why are you looking at me? Is my face dirty?
It's beautiful.
I'll bet it is. Oh, gee, I'm a sight.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Cheers, Chris.
Miss March.
Kitty.
Yes, Miss... Kitty. Look, Kitty. Since I'm old enough to be your father...
You're not so old.
You don't think so?
Well, you're not a boy. You're just, mature. I like mature people.
Well, what I wanted to say was, you shouldn't be alone in the street so late at night.
I was coming home from work.
You work this late?
Mm-hmm.
What do you do?
Guess.
You're an actress.
Oh, you are clever. Now that you know all about me, tell me about yourself. What do you do?
Well, you see...
No, don't tell me. You work in a bank?
No.
Well, let's see. Greenwich Village is full of artists. I meet you in Greenwich Village. You must be an artist, right?
Well, Yes, I paint.
Of course, you're a painter. I love paintings. To think I took you for a cashier. You know those art galleries on Fifth Avenue? The prices they charge. I saw one little picture that cost $50,000. They call it Cézanne.
Cézanne. Oh, he was a great French painter. I'd like to own that painting.
You would? For $50,000?
Well, you can't put any price on masterpieces like that. They're worth, whatever you can afford to pay for them.
You know what, Chris? I bet I saw some of your pictures there and didn't know it. Next time I'll look for your name.
Oh, no. I don't sell my pictures.
Well, not in New York, you mean?
No,
I know. I bet you sell your pictures in Europe, France, or someplace like that. You can tell I don't know much about painting. I bet you get as much for your pictures in France as those Frenchmen get right here in New York. And you're never appreciated in your own country.
Well, that's one way of looking at it. But you know, when I paint, I don't think of money. I just paint for fun.
Fun?
Yes, I think it's the most fun I know, painting. I wish I had all the time to paint.
Well, don't you have time?
Oh, no. Yes. You see, business takes a lot of time.
No wonder when you get all that money.
What play are you acting in?
It closed tonight.
Which one?
The one I was in. What time is it?
Oh. It's only 2:10.
Only? Oh, it's time for Kitty to be in bed. So you won't forget me.
Thank you. Can't I see you again?
Oh, sure, sometime.
Well, if you'll give me your telephone number.
I haven't got a phone.
Well, may I write you?
That's the address. Good night, Chris.
Kitty, who's Johnny?
Why do you ask that?
Well, I just heard you ask the bartender.
Oh, sure. He's just a fellow I know. He's Millie's boyfriend. You know, the girl I live with. Good night, Chris.
Good night, Kitty. Yes, Adele. Well, this is a pleasure. I didn't expect to see you, Charlie.
But, Chris, you asked me.
My wife.
Well, it's
It's good to see you anyway. Hey, that was a swell party last night, wasn't it, Charlie? Say, what time would we go home? After midnight, wasn't it? You know, I haven't been to bed yet.
You haven't?
I guess I'm not as old as I thought I was, eh, Charlie?
No, no.
Oh, I've got to do the dishes for Adele. You don't mind, Charlie, do you?
No. Go right ahead. Say, did you paint this?
Great Scott, no. That isn't painting, that's mud. Done by a photographer.
Who is it?
The late departed.
Oh, your wife's former husband.
Detective Sergeant Higgins. Homer Higgins.
Say, that's a real medal, isn't it?
Yeah. Adele got it.
Your wife?
Yeah. After he was drowned in the East River. Jumped in to save a woman. Neither body was found.
Oh. Too bad.
Yeah. Too bad. Oh, thank you, Charlie.
That's all. How long have you been married, Chris?
5 years. Well, she didn't want to spend his insurance money, and so she rented out the spare room. Only $4 a week. Well, I was trying to save money to buy paints, and so I moved in. Oh, she was sweet. Butter wouldn't melt in her mouth. And, well, you know how these things go.
Smoke?
Oh. I guess it better not, huh?
Where are your paintings, Chris?
They're out in the hall. Would you like to see what I did today?
Yes, I'd like to. Where did you find a flower like that? You mean you see this when you look at that?
Well, yes. That is, I sort of feel it. You see, when I look at that flower, I see someone...
Isn't anything private in this house?
I'm sorry, Adele. We better get out of here. All right, Adele.
Can't you get those lazy legs off that couch, baby?
Come here. Can't you do any better than that?
That's all you think about, lazy legs, hmm?
What else is there to think about?
If you want more heat in this apartment, miss, you'll have to call a janitor.
You idiot.
How come you're holding out on me, baby?
Oh, stop talking about Saturday night.
I'm not talking about Saturday night. I'm talking about this. Sounds like a schoolboy trying to make a date. You must be robbing the cradle. What's so funny?
You are. He's old enough to be my father. That's the old fellow who came to my rescue Saturday night. My hero.
No kidding.
See? You were too tight to remember anything. If I hadn't told the cop to go in the wrong direction, he'd have picked you up.
This the old fellow who butted in?
Mm-hmm.
The painter?
He's rich and famous and very sweet, too, Johnny. He doesn't pull any rough stuff like you.
Well, I had a chance to clean up in a crap game. All I needed was $50. And what did you show up with? 15, for cat's sake.
That's all I had. Besides, you kept me waiting 2 hours in the rain.
And then you gave me a dirty look.
I didn't give you a dirty look.
Listen, any girl who waits 2 hours in the rain for a guy is gonna give him a dirty look. Trouble with you, baby, is you have no imagination.
What do you expect me to do?
I expect you to use your brains. But for cat's sake, this chump is crazy about you. This is a setup. He's in the big money, isn't he? You said 50,000 a picture, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Well, here I am, knocking my brains out, trying to raise a little capital, and this is right in your lap. You don't have to call, what's-his-name and get him easily 50. This bird is goofy about you. Write him. Date him up.
Oh, I can't take money off an old man like that.
For cat's sake, get big-hearted and smart, lazy legs. Why, I see fellas in the big dough without half my brains. But ability isn't enough. You gotta have money to make money. Capital. Now, the boys at the Acme Garage will cut me in on a half interest if I can put up the money.
How much do they want?
Oh, 3,000 or 4,000.
Yikes.
Well, for cat's sake, I'm not talking about chicken feed. Use your imagination. You get an interest in a business like that, and it's a cinch to squeeze out your partners. Then you're on Easy Street.
Jeepers, the pipe dreams you have.
Now, what about the letter?
Oh, I can get 50 or 100 perhaps, but I can't get the kind of money you're talking about. I wouldn't know how. Johnny? Johnny, where are you going?
Well, I won't be wasting my time.
Johnny? Johnny? Oh, I don't know why I'm so crazy about you.
Oh, yes, you do. Now, what about my proposition? You don't have to tap the old chump for much, not at first. We'll get you a decent apartment, someplace where I like to come and see you, not a dump like this. Well, lazy legs?
May I come into my own apartment?
Hello, funny face.
Why don't you just move in, Johnny, then I can move out.
Now, Millie, stop picking on my fiancée.
How do you spell that word?
With an F, like in funny face. She pays half the rent, doesn't she?
Well, that was the general idea, Big Shot, when we signed the lease.
Well, I don't mind if you want this place to yourself. Do you, baby?
What's he mean by that?
Oh, nothing. You know Johnny.
Yeah, I know Johnny all right. Has he bought you that engagement ring yet?
Oh, you seem to worry more about it than I do.
The new $45 model. Old Rogers let me have it for $18. Bet he made a profit at that.
I thought you were modeling girdles for the catalog.
I have been. Oh. I ache like a dog. Of course it's ever come back. I swear I'll quit modeling. Why don't you go back to work? With that figure, if you weren't so darn lazy.
Who do you think you are? My guardian angel?
Not me, honey. I lost those wings a long time ago.
Oh, that's what I thought.
No wonder you got fired. You're so darn snippy. You never could get to work on time after you met that Johnny. Honey, what's happened to you?
Don't you wish it could happen to you? I'm in love. Crazy in love.
With a man that pushes you around the way I wouldn't push a cat around.
You leave Johnny out of this.
With your looks and figure, you could get any man you want.
Sure. But there's only one I want.
Yeah, and he's making a tramp out of you.
You wouldn't know love if it hit you in the face.
If that's where it hit you, you ought to know.
That robin sings just like I feel. Look, there's a pair of them up there. They're building their nest.
Say, where'd you learn that?
Oh, when I was a kid. Yeah, I bet I haven't done that in 40 years. Yeah, I feel like a kid myself today.
Sold any pictures lately?
Mm-mm.
Why don't you paint my picture?
I'd like to. Could I bring my easel to your apartment?
Oh, I'm afraid my girlfriend wouldn't like that. How long does it take you to paint a picture?
Well, sometimes a day, sometimes a year. You can't tell. It has to grow.
I never knew paint could grow.
Feeling grows. You know, that's the important thing, feeling. Well, now, you take me. Well, nobody ever taught me how to draw, so I just put a line around what I feel when I look at things.
Yeah, I see.
It's like falling in love, I guess. You know, first you see someone, and it keeps growing, and until you can't think of anyone else.
That's interesting.
Well, the way I look at things, that's all art is. Every painting, if it's any good, is a love affair.
I never heard anyone talk like that before.
Oh, well, there aren't many people you can talk to this way. So you keep it to yourself. You walk around with everything bottled up.
Yeah, that's right. That's the way it is with me, too. I'm sort of keeping things bottled up, too, Chris. The truth is, I'm in a jam.
You, Kitty?
Oh, you probably guessed it. I'm broke. Even this dress belongs to Millie. I can't pay my rent.
Well, how much is it?
Oh, forget it. I shouldn't have told you. It'll spoil your day.
Oh, but Kitty...
I'll get out of it somehow. I couldn't take anything from you, Chris.
No. Yes, I mean...
No, I couldn't. I've never taken money from a man, and I'm not going to now. And I'm not going to spoil our friendship.
Oh, but Kitty,
I couldn't pay you back.
Oh.
Chris, maybe I could pay you back. If you put up the money for a studio apartment, then I'd have a place to live and you could paint there. Don't you see? You could paint my portrait. What's the matter? Don't you want to paint my picture?
There's something I've got to tell you, Kitty.
What?
I deceived you. I lied. I'm a married man, Kitty.
Why didn't you tell me, Chris? You know I'm not the kind of girl to run around with a married man, don't you? You know what you said about meeting someone, how you begin to like them, and you can't think about anybody else? You should have told me you had a wife, Chris.
Yes, but I'm not in love with her, Kitty.
You married her.
Well, I was lonely. I couldn't stand my loneliness.
Poor Chris.
Well, then you're not angry with me?
I suppose I ought to be, but I'm not. Not with you, Chris. I'm going to let you help me.
Well, how much do you need?
$500.
I need $500. I could pay it back $10 a week.
That's all right, Mr. Cross. But you'll have to have a co-signer.
Thank you, no.
Property owner.
Property owner?
Just a formality.
Thank you very much.
Any time.
Well, why can't that old skinflint Hogarth give you a raise? You don't even make enough money to buy me a radio. I have to run downstairs every night to listen to the radio. The way I have to scrimp and save and you wasting money on paints. I'd like to know what you'd do without me. Poor dear Homer. If only he had a grave where I could put some flowers. Why, you couldn't even ask me to marry you. I had to put the words into your mouth. I'd have been better off a widow. The only reason I put up with you is because I'm married to you. I'm stuck.
Yes, and I'm stuck, too.
Have you been drinking?
No, I haven't.
Let me smell your breath. No. Then what's the matter with you? Why are you shouting at me?
Well, you keep blaming me for not buying you a radio.
Would you think I like running downstairs every night to listen to the radio?
Well, why don't you buy a radio? You have money.
His insurance money?
Well, I don't want a radio. You want it.
I'll never touch those bonds. They're for my old age. If Homer were alive, I'd have a radio. He made a good salary. He gave me a good home.
Well, you're living in the same apartment, aren't you?
Yes. But it didn't smell of paint. I can't sleep with the smell of paint. And all your silly pictures cluttering up the hall. If you don't get rid of that trash, I swear I'll give it to the junk man.
Adele.
I will. I swear I will. And the things you paint. It was bad enough when you used to copy picture postcards.
Well, Utrillo copies postcards, and he's considered a great painter.
And now I suppose you're copying Utrillo, or whatever his name is. They're getting crazier all the time. Oh, yes. I saw what you're doing. Girls. Snakes. Next thing you'll be painting women without clothes.
I never saw a woman without any clothes.
I should hope not.
The happy household hours. Just coming on, dear.
I'll be right down, Dora. Mr. Cross came home late. Go ahead and eat. And then do the dishes.
This is the Happy Household Hour, brought to you at this time by Happy Hour Bubble Suds. No soap gives you more happiness, more washings, and more suds per package than Happy Hour Bubble Suds. Ask your nearest grocer for the large economy-size package today. And now for the next episode of Hilda's Hope for Happiness. As you remember, we left Hilda in the laundry washing her. With Bubble Suds, Hilda.
Christopher! Christopher! What are you doing?
I was looking for the paper.
Are you blind?
Oh. Well, didn't you like the radio?
It went off right in the middle of a program. I wouldn't have such a radio.
Hey, did you read this?
Read what?
This murder in Queens. A man killed his wife with a window weight, put a body in the trunk and shipped it to California. It says here...
I've read the paper, thank you. He didn't get away with it, did he? He'll go to the chair, as he should.
Yeah. Man hasn't got a chance with these New York detectives.
Can't you put that paper down and do the dishes?
Adele, you didn't mean what you said about giving my paintings away to the junk man.
You'll find out.
Well, you won't have to. A friend of mine is taking an apartment in Greenwich Village. I'll move everything there.
Well, if he's fool enough to let you do it, go ahead. The sooner the better.
Yeah.
Top floor. You'll get plenty of light. Lots of privacy. You've heard of Tony Rivera, the illustrator? He had this apartment on a 3-year lease. Couldn't work anywhere else. This was his studio. The sketches on the wall are Rivera's. He'd do that with his models sometimes when he was working on a magazine cover. Some people pay a lot of money for those. Are you an artist, Miss March?
Uh-huh. Where's the bedroom?
Oh, this way.
What's the rent, Mr. Jones?
$150. Oh, there are some things that Rivera left here stored in the basement. They go with the apartment if you care to use them. Here you are. Bedroom.
I don't like the wallpaper.
Will they change the paper?
I guess so, on a year's lease.
I'll pick it out myself.
Well, don't break the bank.
Hello, Lazy Legs.
Oh, I thought I heard the doorbell. I didn't hear anything.
Say, is this all you've got?
I'm lucky I have that left the way you were throwing it around last night. You even bought me a book, honey.
You're supposed to be an actress, aren't you?
Shakespeare, for Pete's sake. Say, that's all I have left.
You know where to get more, don't you, Lazy Legs?
Told me he hadn't sold any pictures for a long time. And I'm in hock for all this.
Look, Kitty. I need at least $1,000.
Ouch!
Well, you got him softened up. Now, push him around a bit.
He seems to get scared when I talk about money.
Listen, baby, you got him right where you want him. He's on the hook and can't get off.
He can walk out, can't he?
He's got a wife, hasn't he? Just drop a hint that his wife might find out about this apartment and he'll shell out fast.
That's blackmail.
It's only blackmail, baby, when you're dumb enough to get caught. Is that him?
Told you I heard the doorbell.
For cat's sake, get rid of him.
Don't you answer doorbells?
Thought you were mad at me.
Peace offering. Scotch.
Thanks, honey.
I didn't think you were out. It's only 12:10. I rang and rang downstairs, and then I found the door was open. Well. You're doing all right for a working girl.
Now, don't start that again.
Don't tell me he's under the sofa, too.
No, Bright Eyes.
You can come out, Johnny.
All you have to do is call, funny face. Oh.
You must have made a killing in Wall Street, Mr. Prince.
Could be.
Last time I saw Johnny, he was talking about going to Hollywood.
I might try it yet. Well, I read in a movie magazine about a fellow who landed in Hollywood stone broke and cleaned up $1 million. No experience either. All he had was looks. And he worked in a drugstore.
If he worked, Johnny, he didn't look like you.
Oh, you two stop fighting.
I'm not fighting, baby. She just doesn't know my speed. Why, here are movie actors getting $5,000, $10,000 a week. For what? For acting tough. For pushing girls in the face. What do they do I can't do?
If you're so clever, why don't you do it?
I might, funny face. I might.
Chris!
I brought over some of my things, Kitty. I'll bring some more tomorrow. The rest on Saturday. Oh, you have company.
Just Millie and Johnny.
Sure.
You know, Millie's boyfriend. Come on, I want you to meet them. Millie, this is a friend of mine, Mr. Cross, Miss Ray.
How do you do, Miss Ray?
Pleased to meet you, Mr. Cross.
And Johnny Prince.
Glad to know you, Mr. Cross.
How do you do? Seems to me I've seen you before somewhere.
Could be. Could be, Mr. Cross.
Yes, I just don't seem to remember. Maybe I'm mistaken.
Could be.
Well, I'll have to run along, kid.
I'll go with you, sweetheart.
Oh, don't bother, Johnny.
Well, I wouldn't think of letting you go alone, darling. You might get run over by a streetcar. Goodbye, Mr. Cross.
Bye.
Nice to see you.
Thanks for the scotch, Millie.
That's okay. Bye.
Oh, Kitty.
So long, Johnny. Now, what's the matter, Chris?
I don't think I like that young man she's in love with.
Oh, Johnny's all right.
Oh, I know he is, or he wouldn't be a friend, but there's something about him that...
She's crazy about him.
Would you like to see my pictures?
Not yet. Come sit down, Chris. You happy?
For the first time in my life.
Very happy?
I think of you all the time. All I want is to see you, be near you. I know I haven't any right to ask you this, but have you ever... Well, there must have been other men who...
Just one, Chris.
You still see him?
I've forgotten him.
Look, Kitty, if I were single, if I had no wife...
But you have a wife.
Yes, I know, but if she'd... well, if something would happen that would make me free... Would you marry me?
Oh, let's not talk about it now, dear. What I'm worried about is getting a job. Living like this, it's expensive. I don't like to ask you for anything more because, well, you say you haven't sold any pictures lately.
Yes, but don't you have enough money?
No, you have no idea what a problem money is for an actress, Chris. Talent doesn't count in the theater. Everything is pull, contacts, knowing the right people. You have to get an agent. They charge plenty. Wear smart clothes. Be attractive.
Oh, but Kitty, you're beautiful.
Oh, Chris. Your face doesn't mean a thing. It's clothes, perfumes, making the right impression. Why, an actress needs $1,000 just to get a decent wardrobe.
$1,000?
At least. Maybe I can borrow it from Millie. Or her boyfriend, Johnny. He's got plenty of money.
Oh, no. No, Kitty. Not from Johnny.
Why not?
Well, I'll get you the money some way.
Chris, you're a darling. I really believe you're in love with me.
I am, Kitty. I am.
Chris, you're a caveman. I like you to like me, but, well, there's a limit.
Yes, I know. Well, I've got to go. I'm supposed to be back. I'll come here tomorrow noon, Kitty.
I'll be waiting for you. I'm sorry you have to go. Bye-bye, dear. Oh, don't forget the money.
I'll get it.
Bye-bye, Chris.
Goodbye.
That's all right. I don't get it. The poor sap must be a hophead seeing snakes on the L. Imagine anyone paying money for this stuff. Say, are you sure he's not a phony?
He's too dumb to be a phony.
You're right there.
And how would he get all the money? Why, if he had to work for a living, he couldn't make $50 a week. You just don't know art.
Maybe not, but I'm gonna find out about it.
I kind of like this one. But where would you find flowers like that?
I wonder if I couldn't sell these.
And what do I do when he asks where they are?
Say you put them in storage. You know, you gotta protect them. You can't leave valuable paintings lying around where somebody can pick them up.
You'd get in trouble. Any gallery'd know his work. He tried to kiss me today. And don't think I liked it.
Oh, you've been kissed before. Say, they're not even signed.
Oh, that doesn't matter. They'd know him.
Not where I take them, baby.
Johnny, I can't stand to have anybody touch me but you. I hate him when he looks at me like that. If he were mean or vicious or if he bawled me out or something, I'd like him better. Oh, you don't love me or you'd understand what I mean.
No?
No.
No?
Well, maybe.
Working late tonight, Mr. Cross?
Oh, I'm about through, Ben. You can let me out in a minute.
Yes, sir.
Just caught you in time. Cash this for me, will you, Chris? It's personal.
Yes. Yes, of course, J.J.
Thank you, Chris. Good night.
Good night, J.J.
Hello, mate.
Hi. What you got?
The fella that painted those gets $50,000 for a single picture. Hey, what's the matter with you, Nick?
Where'd you pick 'em up? Over in Washington Square? The village longhairs are peddling junk like that for the price of the canvas.
These weren't painted by any village longhair.
That's my pawn shop, isn't it? And that snake is strictly from the Bronx.
This fella lives in Brooklyn. He's famous.
Yeah, what's his name?
Well, Look, Nick, I brought you stuff before and you never asked for any name on it.
That was jewelry. Bring me some more of that and we can do business, Johnny. Take this junk back to Washington Square where you got it.
I can see you've got an eye for art. That's one of my best.
Take a look at these.
Oh, I didn't know you were a painter.
I'm not. Are they any good?
Well, they've got something. A certain peculiar something. But no perspective.
Is that important?
I should say it is. Look at my painting. Where did you buy them?
I didn't buy them. I want to sell them.
Oh, you want me to sell them on commission?
How much do you think they're worth?
I always start everything at 25. Then, you know, it's a hard business selling pictures. Yeah, people don't buy art nowadays. No appreciation, no taste, no perception.
And no perspective, huh?
Let me have your name and address.
I'll come back later. So long.
Hello, John.
Hiya, Tiny.
Where'd you get that?
Off Nick.
Well, what about my ring?
You know how much a good diamond costs?
Well, I gave you $900.
Would you pipe down? You've been telling me what a dope the old guy is. Maybe you're the dope. He tells you his paintings are worth a lot of money. Did you check up on his story?
What's wrong with it?
They're worth just $25 a piece. That's what's wrong with them.
You're crazy.
If I weren't a gentleman.
Well, don't get sore.
Well, then don't tell me I'm crazy. I tell you, the old boy's a phony.
His money isn't phony, is it?
He could borrow dough or have it stashed away. Or even steal it.
Chris steal? Oh, jeepers, Johnny. He's not the type. He wouldn't have nerve enough to steal.
Well, he didn't get it from his pictures.
He may be dumb, but not about art. The day he took me to the museum, he explained how everything was done. You should have heard him. People stood around and listened.
What museum?
The Metropolitan. Yipe. They've got pictures there worth $1 million. Where are you going?
I'm going to make a monkey out of you, lazy legs.
You can't take his pictures to the museum.
Who says I can't?
You know who bought them? Janeway. A Damon Janeway. Don't you know who Mr. Janeway is? He's an art critic. The best authority in New York on modern art. He took one look and bought them both. I couldn't even give him my pictures, not for nothing. He wants to get hold of you. He told me to telephone him. You wait here, huh?
No.
For cat's sake, what's so funny?
You are smarty pants. You're the Mr. Fix-It who was going to make a monkey out of poor, dopey little kitty. So you gave away 2 pictures for a couple of dimes, and now you can't collect the dime.
Oh, dry up.
Jeepers.
Now what?
What am I going to tell Chris?
He won't find out.
The heck he won't. That Janeway's a critic. He writes for the newspapers. Golly, you got us in a spot. I told you not to do it.
You're just nervous. The old guy who sold him doesn't know me from Adam.
Say, give me that drink. I can use it.
Chris?
He's got a key.
Well, go ahead. See who it is. Hurry up.
Oh, I beg your pardon, but we're looking for a man, and I'm afraid I don't know his name.
Oh, and I'm afraid I can't help you.
I'm sorry.
Oh, look! There! These are his... Oh, there he is. Why did you run away from me like that, huh? Here, $50, less 20%.
I don't know what you're talking about.
But the pictures you brought me.
Perhaps we'd better introduce ourselves. My name is Janeway. This is Mr. Delarue.
How do you do?
What is it you want?
We'd like to find out who painted the pictures.
You don't know?
Of course they don't know. That's what we're here for.
Look, if you're a friend of the painter, you will put Mr. Delarue in touch with him.
Why'd you buy those pictures if you don't know who painted them?
Because they're good.
Who painted them?
No, Johnny, no.
Oh, don't be so modest, Miss March. Now, you see, you got me in bed. She made me promise not to tell. That's why I made out like I didn't know. She's funny about her painting. Never lets anyone see it. Doesn't even put her name on her pictures.
So I observed. You're an extraordinary artist, Miss March.
Oh, no.
See, she can't stand for anybody to talk about her. She got the idea her pictures weren't any good. That's why I took those two to you, to give her confidence. I knew they were good. Now I'll take that money.
I never would have guessed it was a woman.
Nor I. Your work is very strong, Miss March.
May we see some more of it?
Sure, go ahead. Look in the studio.
Thank you.
You're crazy to try a thing like this.
Cat's sake, I thought they were cops. I know what I'm doing. They don't know from nothing.
I can't fool that critic.
You always wanted to be an actress. Now's your chance. You've been around the old boy long enough to pick up his lingo. Feed Janeway some of that. I'll get him in here alone with you.
No, wait.
How long has she been painting?
Ever since she was a kid, Mr. Janeway.
Never went to art school, did she?
No, she just picked it up. I guess I'm the only one who's been encouraging her, kind of helping her along. As a friend, you know, just a friend.
Oh, I didn't get your name.
Prince. Say, Mr. Janeway, she's kind of upset. Maybe you'd go in and talk to her.
Glad to.
Well, Mr. Delarue?
I wonder if Miss March would let me have all of these.
Well, that depends. What's in it for her?
Well, prices will have to be built up, Mr. Prince, but...
I can usually tell whether a canvas has been painted by a man or woman. But you fooled me completely, Miss March. Your work is not only original, it has a masculine force. How long does it take you to paint a picture?
Sometimes a day, sometimes a year. You can't tell. It has to grow.
Of course.
It's a matter of feeling. You know how feeling grows? It's like falling in love, I guess.
That's a very good description.
The way I look at it, every painting, if it's any good, is a love affair.
May I quote that?
Oh, no. Please don't write about me.
I can see you're going to be a very hard case. Why don't you have confidence in your work?
Because I can't draw.
You do all right.
I just put a line around what I feel when I look at things.
You're a very stimulating person to talk to.
How you two getting along?
I think I'm breaking the ice.
Kitty, Mr. Delarue wants to handle all your work exclusively. Is it all right? As a friend, I'd advise it.
Could you come to the galleries tomorrow?
What time?
Any time that's convenient.
How about 12 o'clock? And then lunch afterward with me.
Well,
She'll be there.
I'm glad you're around, Mr. Prince, to make up her mind for her. I can see you're tired, Miss March. This has been enough for one evening. We'd better go. Until tomorrow.
Thanks, Mr. Janeway. So long.
Good evening.
Night, Mr. Delarue.
Good night. Good night.
Night.
Lazy legs. I don't know what you told Janeway, but you got 'em eating right out of your hand.
It won't stop with lunch.
Well, what's the difference?
If you mean...
Oh, stop acting like a green kid. Let him talk about what he wants to talk about, and he won't talk about art.
If I had any sense, I'd walk out on you.
You haven't got any sense. Right here, just like you'd sign a letter. Come on. Catherine March.
Kitty!
For cat's sake. Put that one back.
Kitty!
Chris!
Oh, Kitty, I happen to be in the next.
Oh, hello, Mr. Cross. I just dropped in. I thought Millie was here. See, I hope you don't mind my looking at your picture.
Oh, no, not at all, Mr. Prince.
Fine work, that. Remarkable painting. You have a little trouble with perspective, don't you?
Yes, that's one thing I never could master. Perspective.
Well, I guess I'll have to run along. So long, Mr. Cross. If Millie drops in, tell her I'll be at Tiny's place. Don't bother. I'll let myself out.
Has he been here long?
No, why?
I don't like him.
Oh, Johnny's all right. He's a nice fellow, Chris. Really is. I don't know why you don't like him.
Well, was he the one?
One what?
Well, you said there was one man.
Oh, for heaven's sake, won't you ever forget that?
Well, was he?
No.
Oh, Kitty.
Go ahead and paint if you want to. I'm not going to stick around if you're going to torment me.
Kitty. Oh, Kitty.
Oh, leave me alone. I'm going out for dinner.
Kitty, don't be angry.
Why do you come here if you want to quarrel? I didn't ask you to come here.
Oh, please, Kitty.
Oh, for Pete's sake. Go and paint.
Well, I can't. I can't do a thing when you're angry with me. Do you want me to go?
I want you to stay here and paint. Chris, I'm sorry, Chris, but why do you torment me about something that's over and done with?
Well, because Would you marry me?
You can't.
Well, something might happen.
What? You better not let your wife hear you talking like that. Of course I'd marry you if you were free, but you're not, so let's not talk about it. Now you go on and paint.
Well, could I paint you?
Well, I was going to do this myself, but, paint me, Chris. They'll be masterpieces.
Hello, Idell. I dropped over to the butcher shop like you told me to. I got a nice piece of liver.
How long have you known Catherine March? Answer me.
I don't know what you're talking about.
How long have you known her?
Well, now, don't get excited. Let me help you off with your coat.
Well, you're the one that's excited. Look at you. Get away with that knife. Do you want to cut my throat? How long have you known her?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Don't lie to me. You've been copying her work for years. Pretending you painted those pictures out of your own head, and all the time you were just copying the work of a real artist. I'll bet you're at Delarose every day making notes.
Where?
You know where. Delarose Art Gallery on 57th Street. They've got a window full of paintings by Catherine March.
You're talking crazy.
She gets $500 for a single picture. She's a genius. No wonder I used to think sometimes there was something in your work. Now I know why. If you ever do any more painting around here, I swear I'll write that woman a letter telling her you're stealing her ideas. You're a thief. Oh, God, they'd better watch out. Or next thing you were stealing his money.
Not that one, honey.
Delarose asking for more pictures.
Chris just finished it. He'll miss it.
Janeway says the new pictures are the best things you've done. Wasn't I right about Janeway, Lazy Leg?
Yeah, but he gets on my nerves. I've been out to dinner with him 3 times this week, and now he's talking about breakfast. He's getting that look in his eye.
All you gotta do is keep it there.
Well, it's all very well for you to say, but what about the wear and tear on my nerves?
Papa will take care of Kitty. Baby's gonna have a big diamond ring, and a shiny limousine, and a penthouse.
And Johnny?
He goes with the penthouse.
Chris.
How did my pictures get into Delarose's window?
Oh, Chris. Don't be angry with me.
No, I'm not angry. I just can't understand. It's not possible.
Forgive me, darling. I needed money. They were going to take the furniture back. It was humiliating. I couldn't ask you for more. You've been so generous. I just couldn't. So I sold some pictures.
To Delarose?
Uh-huh.
You actually sold those pictures?
Uh-huh. Oh, I know I shouldn't have put my name on them, but Mr. Delarose wanted to know who painted them, and I just couldn't give him your name. Now I can't tell him different. Can I?
No.
Funny part is it didn't seem to make any difference.
Yes, well, the funny part is it made a great deal of difference. If I'd bought those pictures to a man like Delarose, he wouldn't have taken them. I'm a failure, Kitty.
Oh, you're a great painter, Chris. Mr. Delarose said so, and so did Mr. Janeway. That is, they say I am.
Well, they're going to keep on saying it.
Oh, Chris.
Oh, now don't, Kitty. Now don't cry. I'm happy. Why, it's just like a dream.
Oh, Chris, you're so good, so kind.
Well, what difference does it make whose name is on those pictures, yours or mine? Why, it's just like we were married. Only I take your name. Well, that gives me a little authority around here. I want to paint your picture, Kitty. How about it? Come with me. Know what we're going to call this? Self-portrait. Hello, Damon.
Hello there.
Hello.
Well,
This is the first time I've ever agreed with you, Janeway.
thank you.
I find the painter even more fascinating than her painting.
What's she like? Mona Lisa without the smile.
Something hidden. Sometimes it seems as if she were two people. I mentioned that in my notice. Would you care to see it?
Cross, the man outside says he wants to see you.
Who?
I didn't get no name, sir, but he said he was a detective.
You the detective?
Well, I used to be, Mr. Cross. Don't you recognize me? Quite a shock, huh? Now, don't faint, Mr. Cross. Keep your head. I'll explain everything. Well, I was in trouble at the time. I'd been collecting a little extra money from the speakeasies along the waterfront. Word got around the headquarters. I was up for investigation. One night I'm down by Brooklyn Bridge trying to fix things up. A man runs in the speakeasy and says, a woman just jumped off the bridge. So I run out and tear off my coat, jump in. The way I felt, I'm hoping I don't come up again. You mind?
No.
Well, there I am swimming around in the dark. I had hold of her hat once. Next thing I know, I'm all tired out. I heard a tugboat whistle, and right down on top of me comes a coal barge. So I grab a hold and climb aboard. I look down my hand. What do you think I got? Her pocketbook. That's what I grabbed a hold of when I thought it was her hat. And inside is $2,700 in folding money. Imagine anybody committing suicide with that much money. Well, the coal barge unloaded on a banana boat bound for Honduras. Well, I went with it.
Yes, but if you're not dead, then I'm not really married to Adele, am I?
What's it worth to you for me to keep my mouth shut and just fade away?
Yes, but if you're Adele's husband...
Wait a minute. I can see you need Adele. I need money. You're a cashier. It ought to be easy for you to put your hands on a couple of thousand.
Oh, I couldn't do a thing like that.
You're going back to her? No. But not to do you a favor, mister. I'm clearing out for Adele's sake.
And don't think you're going to get any peace of mind either. I might turn up again someday. She'd kick you out in a minute for a man like me.
I'll get you some money.
Now you're using your head.
Yeah, but you'll have to wait here. I can't get it till after we close at 6 o'clock.
I'll wait, Cross.
Hello, Johnny. Hello, Kitty.
Hiya, Marquetti.
Hi.
Don't forget the champagne, baby.
Nice car you have, Johnny. She go fast, huh?
I'd like to see any cop try to catch me. Say, I'll give you 4 bits for a bucket full of that ice.
Okay, Johnny.
Can I borrow the ice pick?
You give it back, huh?
Sure.
Thank you.
Only 200?
Well, that's all I could get.
Don't you think your wife's worth more than that?
Well, look, I want you to get all that's coming to you, Mr. Higgins. Now, what about the insurance money?
Insurance?
Yeah, $2,000 on your life. Adele collected it. It's really yours, isn't it? She keeps it right in her bedroom. Now, I wouldn't touch a penny of it, Mr. Higgins, but if you took it, it would be perfectly legal.
But just how would I get it?
That's easy. This is the night that she always goes out to the movies. I let you in. You take the money. I let you out.
But why don't you get it?
Oh, I got to be able to say that I didn't touch it. You know, Adele.
What if she don't go out and I show up? Your goose is cooked, isn't it?
Yes, but I can play it safe.
How?
Well, you come along the street at 11 o'clock tonight.
Okay? Why are you whispering? How come the lights are on?
Mrs. Michaels. You remember Mrs. Michaels, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
And the neighbors.
Where's the money?
In there, in the bottom drawer of the chest.
Okay. Give me the flash.
Please! Murder! Christopher! Christopher, get on the light! Christopher!
All your fears are foolish fancy made. You know, dear, that I'm in love, 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 love.
Johnny. Oh, Johnny.
Lazy legs.
Jeepers, I love you. What's that? Chris? Johnny, is it Chris?
Call him quick.
Chris! Chris!
I ought to push you over on your head.
How'd I know he was coming here tonight? I don't understand it.
You don't understand anything.
Well, why get sore at
Well,
me?
what use are my brains if I'm tied up with a dumb clerk like you? I told you to watch your step, didn't I?
That's right. Blame it on me.
Oh, why'd you keep me here tonight? I didn't want to stay.
Johnny, don't talk like that.
Well, it's the truth. I'm fed up with you.
Johnny.
That's the only thing you ever understood. I'm through with you.
Jeepers, I love you, Johnny. Jeepers, I love you, Johnny.
O Lord, have mercy upon us sinners. The way of the sinner is made plain with stones, but the end thereof is the pit of hell. O Lord, be merciful to me, a sinner.
Millie? Yeah, Kitty. You seen Johnny? Oh, I thought he'd go to Tiny's. Was he getting tight? Oh, just a fight. Listen, he can't live without me any more than I can live without him. Said he was coming back here. To beat me up? Jeepers, the way that guy shoots off his mouth. Oh, you don't have to warn me. That's just the way he talks. If you were in love, you'd understand. Oh, stop it. Johnny wouldn't kill a fly. That's love, honey. Here he is now. And has he got a bun on? Goodbye, hon. Hello, Johnny. Come on, Johnny. I heard you.
You lied to me, Kitty. It was him, wasn't it?
Can I help it if I'm in love?
No, just an infatuation. You couldn't love a man like that, Kitty. He's evil. He wouldn't let you alone, isn't that right? I wanted to kill him. Well, that's wrong.
Why'd you come here?
To ask you to marry me.
What about your wife?
I haven't any wife. That's finished.
For cat's sake,
My
you
husband turned up. I'm free. Oh, now, don't cry, Kitty. I know how you feel, but that's all over now. We all make mistakes. I don't care what's happened. I can marry you now. I want you to be my wife. We'll go away together, way far off, so you can forget this other man. Don't cry, Kitty. Please don't cry.
I'm not crying, you fool. I'm laughing.
Kitty.
Oh, you idiot. How can a man be so dumb?
Kitty.
I wanted to laugh in your face ever since I first met you. You're old and ugly, and I'm sick of you. Sick, sick, sick.
Kitty, for heaven's sake.
You killed Johnny? I'd like to see you try. Why, he'd break every bone in your body. He's a man. You want to marry me? You? Get out of here. Get out. Get away from me. Chris! Chris, get away from me. Chris! Chris!
Hey! Oh, you look out, Johnny. You killed somebody.
Chris!
Hold on, Chris. Wait a minute. What made you do it, Chris? When these officers called me, I wouldn't believe it.
We were tipped off on the telephone.
By a man named Higgins. I checked the cash before you came in. You know how much is missing? Over $1,200.
We'll take him along. You can make the complaint, Mr. Hogarth.
Hold on, boys. I just can't do it.
But, Mr. Hogarth...
I know you've done your duty, and I'm obliged to you. There's a box of cigars on the table. Take them along with you.
Okay, Mr. Hogarth. It's up to you.
Chris, it was a woman, wasn't it? I thought so. I'm not going to put you in jail, Chris. Only, of course, you're through.
Well, I didn't do anything. I want a lawyer.
Where was he picked up? Riverside Drive. He tried to get away in the murdered girl's car.
That was my car.
This is yours, too. It's got your initials on it. But it's her blood. His $140 was taken out of her pocketbook.
It was mine.
It's her diamond ring. Worth, $500 or $600.
You guys know a lot, don't you? It cost $1,200.
Here's her personal jewelry. Not much value, but he cleaned her out.
Well, why wouldn't I? She didn't have any more use for it, did she? Listen, you guys, I want a lawyer. I'm a citizen. I got my rights.
This belongs to you, too, huh? It's got your fingerprints on it.
Well, naturally, I picked it up. How did I know she was dead? I thought she was asleep at first.
Uh-huh.
She didn't paint those pictures. Old Cross isn't as dumb as he looks. He painted them.
The accused brought me 2 pictures. He told me Miss March painted them.
In my expert opinion, there's no doubt about it. She was a very great artist.
She told me she was an artist when she rented the studio. He was with her. I didn't like him then, and I don't like him now.
Yeah, he was mean when he was drunk. He said he was going to fix her when he left my place around 2 a.m.
That's when I tell him, you look out, Johnny, you kill somebody. So he kills her with my ice pick.
And then I heard her say hello, Johnny, before she hung up. He was there, all right. What I don't understand is this talk about her being an artist. I never saw her paint.
That was one of her peculiar traits. She never let anyone see her paint. I've compared her handwriting with her signature. There's no question.
Mr. Cross paint? He only copied her work. He's a thief. He stole from me, from his employer, from Catherine March.
My wife, my former wife is correct. I really can't paint. My copies were so bad I had to destroy them.
For God's sake, he's lying.
Hello, Mr. Cross.
Oh.
Tom Crocker, Evening Globe.
Oh, yes, Tom Crocker.
Joe Williams, Morning World.
Yeah.
Conway for the Ledger. Cigarette?
No, thanks. Going to Sing Sing?
Yeah.
I don't like to cover executions, but I must say this is one I don't mind.
You sure cooked Johnny's goose, Mr. Cross, when you testified you couldn't paint.
Nobody cooked Johnny's goose except Johnny. The way he shot off his mouth.
He was a dead pigeon when he dragged the girl's name through the mud. I watched the jury.
If he'd kept his trap shut, he might have got off with his life.
Sure, the evidence was only circumstantial.
What do you mean?
Got a fair trial, didn't he?
Yeah, but there's always a doubt.
I suppose you fellas are going to say it was a miscarriage of justice. That someone is getting away with murder.
Not me. There's no such thing. Mr. Cross, nobody gets away with murder.
How's that?
Oh, don't get him started. He'll talk your ear off. That's his pet theory.
All right, go ahead and laugh all you like. But no one escapes punishment. I figure we have a little courtroom right in here. Judge, jury, and executioner.
I don't get it.
Well, murder never solves anything. How about it, fellas? You've covered lots of trials.
I'm sorry, but I have to admit you're right.
The problem just moves in here where it can never get out. Right here in solitary. So what? So you go right on punishing yourself. You can't get away with it. Never.
Now, that doesn't make any sense.
Well, you haven't seen as much of murder as I have, Mr. Cross. I'd rather have the judge give me the work than have to do it to myself.
What time they throw the switch?
11 o'clock.
I didn't do it. I tell you, I didn't do it. Won't anybody believe me? Give me a break, somebody. I never had a square deal in my life. Or somebody give me a break.
Johnny, Johnny. Oh, Johnny, Johnny.
Lazy legs. Johnny, darling. I'm here, baby. Jeepers, I love you, Johnny. Johnny, Johnny. Lazy legs. Jeepers, I love you, Johnny. Oh, Johnny, now we're together. He killed me too, Kitty. He brought us together, Johnny, forever.
Kitty.
Oh, you idiot. How can a man be so dumb?
No, Kitty, no.
You wanted to marry me. You? She's mine, Chris.
Let her alone.
Mine forever. You killed me, Chris. You're old and ugly, and you killed me. You killed me. You killed me.
No, Kitty. It's him. You were innocent. You were pure. That's what he killed in you. He's the murderer.
No, he's not. Not Johnny. See, Chris? She loves me.
That's why you had to die. You're the one I killed.
Now she's mine, Chris.
You killed Johnny?
I'd like to see you try.
Kitty.
Why, he'd break every bone in your body. He's a man.
Kitty!
Oh, Johnny, Johnny. Lazy legs. Jeepers, I love you, Johnny.
There's something wrong in there. It's all right, old man. It's all right.
Johnny, oh, Johnny. Lazy legs. Jeepers, I love you, Johnny.
Get up. Come on, get up. Oh, it's you. Haven't I told you to keep out of this park? You know the mayor's orders. Get on down to the Bowery where you belong. Come on. Who's that, Rick? Oh, he's got a crazy idea. He killed a couple of people 5 or 6 years ago. Can't get it off his mind. Always trying to give himself up. Wants to be tried and executed. You know these nuts.
There goes her masterpiece. I really hate to part with it.
For $10,000, I shouldn't think you'd mind, Mr. Telephone.
They ought to make the day the time changes, the first day of summer.
What?
Well, it's 8 o'clock and it's still light.
A lot of good the extra daylight does us. Now, we've still got a 3-hour drive back. We're not going to be home until after midnight.
Well, if it really bugged you, Johnny, you wouldn't do it.
You think I want to blow Sunday on a scene like this? You know, I figure we're either going to have to move Mother out here or move the grave into Pittsburgh.
She can't make a trip like this.
Oh, you know that she can't. Is there any of that candy left?
No.
Look at this thing. We still remember. I don't. You know, I don't even remember what the man looks like.
Johnny, it takes you 5 minutes.
Yeah, 5 minutes to put the wreath on the grave and 6 hours to drive back and forth. Mother wants to remember, so we trot 200 miles into the country and she stays at home.
Well, we're here, John, all right?
Test. We're back on? Oh. Ladies and
Hey,
gentlemen, we're coming back on the air after an interruption due to technical problem.
There's nothing wrong with the radio. Must have been the station.
Which row is it in?
Well, there's no one around.
Well, it's late. If you'd gotten up earlier.
Oh, look, I already lost an hour's sleep when the time changed.
I think you complain just to hear yourself talk. There it is.
I wonder what happened to the one from last year. Each year we spend good money on these things. We come out here and the one from last year's gone.
Well, the flowers die, and the caretaker or somebody takes them away.
Yeah, a little spit and polish. You can clean this up. Sell it next year. Wonder how many times we bought the same one. Hey, come on, Barb. Church was this morning, huh? Hey, I mean, praying's for church, huh? Come on.
I haven't seen you in church lately.
Well, there's not much sense in my going to church. Do you remember one time when we were small, we were out here? It was from right over there. I jumped out at you from behind the tree, and Grandpa got all excited, and he shook his fist at me, and he said, "Boy, you be damned to hell." Remember that? Right over there. Well, you used to really be scared here.
Johnny.
You're still afraid.
Stop it now. I mean it.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Stop it. You're ignorant.
They're coming for you, Barbara.
Stop it. You're acting like a child.
They're coming for you. Look, there comes one of them now.
He'll hear you.
Here he comes now. I'm getting out of here.
Johnny.
Don't worry about him. I can handle him. Probably be a lot more of them as soon as they find out about us. The truck is out of gas. This pump out here is locked. Is there a key? We can try to get out of here if we can get some gas. Is there a key? I suppose you've tried this. Do you live here? Jesus. We've got to get out of here. We have to get where there's some other people. Maybe we better take some food. I'll see if I can find some food.
What's happening?
Tell you what's happening.
What's happening?
Two of them. There are two of them out there. Have you seen any more around here? I can take care of those two.
I
Look, I know you're afraid, but we have
I
to...
don't know! I don't know! What's happening?
They know we're in here now.
Don't look at it.
Get some more lights on in this house. Why don't you see if you can find some wood, some board, something there by the fireplace, something we can nail this place up. Oh, God damn! Look, I know you're afraid. I'm afraid too. But we have to try to board the house up together. Now, I'm going to board up the windows and the doors. Do you understand? We'll be all right here. We'll be all right here until someone comes to rescue us. But we'll have to work together. You'll have to help me. Now, I want you to go in and get some wood so I can board the place up. Do you understand? Okay? Okay? That's wrong. Here, I want you to pick out some nails. Pick out the biggest ones you can find. There, this room looks pretty secure. If we have to, we can run in here and board up the doors. Won't be long before those things be back pounding their way in here. They're afraid now. They're afraid of fire. I found that out. You know a place back down the road called Beekman's? Beekman's Diner? Anyhow, that's where I found that truck I have out there. There's a radio in the truck. I jumped in to listen to it when a big gasoline truck came screaming right across the road with, there must have been 10, 15 of those things chasing after it, grabbing and holding on. Now, I didn't see them at first. I could just see that the truck was moving in a funny way. Those things were catching up to it. The truck went right across the road. Slammed on my brakes to keep from hitting it myself. It went right through the guardrail. I guess the driver must have cut off the road into that gas station by Beekman's Diner. It went right through the billboard, ripped over a gas pump, and never stopped moving. By now, it's like a moving bonfire. Didn't know if the truck was going to explode or what. Could still hear the man screaming. This thing is just backing away from it. I looked back at the diner to see if there was anyone there who could help me. It was when I noticed that the entire place had been encircled. There wasn't a sign of life left except by now there were no more screams. I realized that I was alone with 50 or 60 of those things just standing there, staring at me. I started to drive. I just plowed right through them. They didn't move. They didn't run or just stood there staring at me. Just wanted to crush them. They scattered through the air like bugs.
We were riding in the cemetery, Johnny and me. Johnny. We came to put a wreath on my father's grave. Johnny, and he said, "Can I have some candy, Barbara?" We didn't have any. And, oh, it's hot in here. Hot. And he said, "Oh, it's late. Why did we start so late?" And I said, "Johnny, if you'd gotten up earlier, we wouldn't be late." Johnny asked me if I were afraid. And I said, "I'm not afraid, Johnny." And then this man started walking up the road. He came slowly And Johnny kept teasing me and saying, he's coming to get you, Barbara. And I laughed at him and said, Johnny, stop it. And then Johnny ran away. And I went up to this man, and I was going to apologize.
Why don't you just keep calm?
And I looked up, and I said, good evening. And he grabbed me. He grabbed me, and he ripped at me. He held me, and he ripped at my clothes.
I think you should just calm down.
Oh, I screamed, Johnny! Johnny, help me! Oh, help me! And he wouldn't let me go. He ripped. And then Johnny came and he ran and he fought this man. And I got so afraid. I ran. And Johnny didn't come. We have to wait for Johnny. We better go out and get him. We have to go out and get Johnny. He's out there. Please, don't you hear me? We've got to go out and get him. Please! We have got to go get Johnny! Please help me! Please!
Don't you know what's going on out there? This is no Sunday school picnic.
Don't you understand? My brother is alone!
Your brother is dead.
No! My brother is not dead! Oh. Oh.
Because of the obvious threat to untold numbers of citizens, and because of the crisis which is even now developing, this radio station will remain on the air day and night. This station and hundreds of other radio and TV stations throughout this part of the country are pooling their resources through an emergency network hookup to keep you informed of all developments. At this hour, we repeat, these are the facts as we know them. There is an epidemic of mass murder being committed by a virtual army of unidentified assassins. The murders are taking place in villages, cities, rural homes, and suburbs with no apparent pattern or reason for the slayings. It seems to be a sudden, general explosion of mass homicide. We have some descriptions of the assassins. Eyewitnesses say they are ordinary-looking people. Some say they appear to be in a kind of trance. Others describe them as being So, at this point, there is no really authentic way for us to say who or what to look for and guard yourself against. Misshapen monsters. Reaction of law enforcement officials is one of complete bewilderment at this hour. So far, we have been unable to determine that any kind of organized investigation is yet underway. Police, sheriff's deputies, and emergency ambulances are literally deluged with calls for help. The scene can best be described as mayhem. Mayors of Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, and Miami, along with the governors of several eastern and midwestern states, have indicated the National Guard may be mobilized at any moment, but that has not happened as yet. The only advice our reporters have been able to get from official sources is for private citizens to stay in their homes behind locked doors. Do not venture outside for any reason until the nature of this crisis has been determined and until we can advise what course of action to take. Keep listening to radio and TV for any special instructions as this crisis develops further. Thousands of office and factory workers are being urged to stay at their places of employment, not to make any attempt to get to their homes. However, in spite of this urging and warning, streets and highways are packed with frantic people trying to raise their families or apparently to flee just anywhere. We repeat, the safest course of action at this time is simply to stay where you Ladies and gentlemen, we've just received word that the president has called a meeting of his cabinet to deal with the sudden epidemic of murder which has seized the eastern third of this nation. The meeting is scheduled to convene within the hour. Members of the presidential cabinet will be joined by officials of the FBI and joint chiefs behind closed doors. The White House spokesman, in announcing this conference, says there will be an official announcement as soon as possible following that meeting. This is the latest dispatch just received in our newsroom. Latest word also from National Press Services in Washington, D.C. now tells us that the emergency presidential conference, which we've just mentioned, will include high-ranking scientists from the National Aeronautics and Space Administration. That's the extent of this latest bulletin. Meeting members of his cabinet, the FBI, the Joint Chiefs of Staff, and scientists from NASA within the hour. All radio and TV stations throughout this part of the country, including the one to which you're listening, have joined their facilities in an emergency network to bring you this news as it develops. We urge you to stay tuned to radio and TV and to stay indoors at all costs. Late reports reaching this newsroom tell of frightened people seeking refuge in churches, schools, and government buildings, demanding shelter and protection from the wholesale murder which apparently is engulfing much of the nation. Law enforcement officials are at a loss to explain or, even at this hour, even to theorize about the reasons for this wave of murder. So far, the advice they're able to give the public is something that Scientist Chief T.K. Dunmore of Camden, North Carolina, was quoted as saying, quote, "Tell the people, for God's sake, to get off the streets. Tell them to go home and lock their doors and windows up tight. We don't know what kind of murder-happy characters we have here." End quote. This Chief Dunmore of Camden, North Carolina. So far, the only descriptions, the only clues anyone has of the killers come from frightened witnesses of some of the slayings. These eyewitness accounts variously describe the murderers as ordinary-looking people, misshapen monsters, people who look like they're in a trance, and things that look like people but act like animals. Some eyewitnesses tell of seeing victims who look as though they had been torn apart. This whole ghastly story began developing 2 days ago with the report of the slaying of a family of 7 in their rural home near Gulfport, Louisiana. Since then, reports of such senseless killings began snowballing in a reign of terror which has hopscotched in an erratic, disconnected manner throughout much of the eastern and midwestern United States. Efforts to keep track of the murder reports by the placing of markers on a map seem to indicate a general spreading of the extreme southeastern United States to the north and west. Our newsmen have been on the telephone talking with officials in other cities and have determined that none of this kind of mass murder has yet been reported west of the Mississippi River, except in the extreme southeastern portion of Texas. Similar killings have been reported around the Houston and Galveston areas, but nothing like
I found a gun and some bullets out there.
It was only late yesterday
Oh,
that
and
it
these.
first became clear we were facing some kind of national emergency. When first reports began filtering in, newsmen and law enforcement agencies were of the opinion
This
that
place is boarded up pretty solid now.
in nature. However, as these
We ought to be all right here for a while.
dramatically, it was soon apparent that
We have
this
the
was
gun
something
and
more than the
bullets,
usual run of lawlessness.
food and the
Some
radio.
officials began to suspect an obscure kind of conspiracy.
Sooner or later, someone's bound to come and get us out.
Creatures from outer space. So again, we join with law enforcement agencies urging you to seek shelter in a building. Lock the doors and windows securely.
Hey, that's us. We're doing all right.
Be cautious of any suspicious strangers. And keep tuned to your radio and television for survival instructions and further details of this continuing story.
Look, I don't know if you're hearing me,
Goes on in the absence of any law.
but I'm going upstairs now.
It's almost as though some critical balance of
If anything should try to break in here, I can hear it from up there. I'll be down to take care of it.
savage killers. We repeat, this radio station.
Everything is all right for now. I'll be back to reinforce the windows and doors later. But you'll be all right for now, okay? Okay.
Civil defense officials in Cumberland have told newsmen that murder victims show evidence of having been partially devoured by their murderers. Inconsistent reports from witnesses to the effect that people who acted as though they were in a kind of trance were killing and eating their victims prompted authorities to examine the bodies of some of the victims. Medical authorities in Cumberland have concluded that in all cases, the killers are eating the flesh of the people they murder. Repeating this latest bulletin just received moments ago from Cumberland, Maryland, civil defense authorities have told newsmen that murder victims show evidence of having been partially devoured by their murderers. Medical examination of victims' bodies shows conclusively that the killers are eating the flesh of the people they kill. And so this incredible story becomes more ghastly with each report. It's difficult to imagine such a thing actually happening, but these are the reports we have been receiving and passing on to you, reports which have been verified as completely as is possible in this confused situation. It is happening, and it would appear that no one is safe from this wave of mass murder.
Don't shoot. We're from town.
A radio.
County, Pennsylvania. The Butler County Sheriff has verified that reports of murder victims being partially eaten by their slayers is true. No further details available at this time. However,
How long have you guys been down there? I could use some help up here.
That's the cellar. It's the safest place.
You mean you didn't hear the racket we were making up here?
How were we supposed to know what was going on? Could have been those things for all we knew.
That girl was screaming. Sure, you must know what a girl's screaming sounds like. Those things don't make any noise. Anybody would know somebody if they needed help.
Look, it's kind of hard to hear what's going on from down there.
We thought we could hear screams, but for all we knew, that could have meant those things were in the house afterward.
And you wouldn't come up and help?
Well, if there were more...
The racket sounded like the place was being ripped apart. How were we supposed to know what was going on?
Now, wait a minute. You just got finished saying you couldn't hear from down there. Now you say it sounded like the place was being ripped apart. It would be nice if you get your story straight, man.
All right, now you tell me. I'm not going to take that kind of a chance when we got a safe place. We luck into a safe place, and you're telling us we got to risk our lives just because somebody might need help, huh?
Yeah, something like that.
All right, why don't we settle this?
Look, mister, we came up. Okay, we're here. Now I suggest we all go back downstairs before any of those things find out we're in here.
They can't get in here.
You got the whole place boarded up?
Yeah, most of it. All but a few spots upstairs. They won't be hard to fix.
You're insane. The cellar's the safest place.
I'm telling you, they can't get in here.
And I'm telling you, those things turned over our car. We were damn lucky to get away at all. Now you tell me those things can't get through this lousy pile of wood?
His wife and kids downstairs. The kid's hurt.
Well, I still think we're better off up here.
We could strengthen everything up, Mr. Cooper.
With all of us working, we could fix this place up in no time. We have everything we need up here.
We can take all that stuff downstairs with us. Man, you're really crazy, you know that? You got 1 million windows up here. All these windows, you're gonna make them strong enough to keep these things out, huh?
I told you, those things don't have any strength. I smashed 3 of them and pushed another one out the door.
Did you hear me when I told you they turned over our car?
Oh, hell, any good 5 men can do that.
That's my point. Only there's not going to be 5 or even 10. There's going to be 20, 30, maybe 100 of those things. And as soon as they know we're here, this place is going to be crawling with them.
Well, if there are that many, they'll probably get us wherever we are.
Look, the cellar. The cellar, there's only one door, right? Just one door, that's all we have to protect. Tom and I fixed it so it locks and boards from the inside. But up here, all these windows, why, we'd never know where they were going to hit us next.
You got a point, Mr. Cooper. But down in the cellar, there's no place to run to. I mean, if they did get in, there'd be no back exit. We'd be done for. We can get out of here if we have to. And we got windows to see what's going on outside. But down there with no windows, if a rescue party did come, we wouldn't even know it.
But the cellar is the strongest place.
The cellar is a death trap.
I don't know, Mr. Cooper. I think he's right. You know how many's out there?
I don't know. I figure maybe 6 or 7.
Look, you two can do whatever you like. I'm going back down to the cellar, and you better decide. Because I'm going to board up that door, and I'm not going to unlock it again no matter what happens.
Now, wait a minute, Mr. Cooper.
No, I'm not going to wait. I've made my decision, now you make yours.
Now, wait a minute. Let's think about this. We can make it to the cellar if we have to. And if we do decide to stay down there, we'll need some things from up here. So let's at least consider this a while.
If you box yourself in this cellar and those things get in the house, you've had it. At least up here you have a fighting chance.
Yeah, it looks like about 8 or 10 out there now.
There's more than there were. There are a lot out back, too.
It's all right.
We gotta fix these boards.
You're crazy. Those things are going to be at every window and door in this place. We've got to get down into the cellar.
Go down in your damn cellar. Get out of here!
I'm taking the girl with me.
You leave her here. Keep your hands off her. And everything else that's up here, too. Because if I stay up here, I'm fighting for everything up here. And the radio and the food is part of what I'm fighting for. Now, if you're going down the cellar, get.
The man's insane. He's insane. We've got to have food down there. We've got a right.
This is your house.
We've got a right.
You going down there with him?
Well,
yes or no? This is your last chance. No beating around the bush.
Listen, I got a kid down there. She can't possibly. I couldn't bring her up here. She can't possibly take all the racket and those things smashing through the windows.
Well, you're her father. If you're stupid enough to go die in that trap, that's your business. However, I am not stupid enough to follow you. It is tough for the kid that old man is so stupid. Now, you get the hell down in the cellar. You can be the boss down there. I'm boss up here.
You bastards. You know, I won't open this door again. I mean it.
Mr. Cooper, with your help, we could...
With my help.
Let him go, man. His mind is made up. Just let him go.
Wait a minute. Judy, come on up here, honey.
You're gonna let them get hurt too, huh?
It's all right, honey. Go ahead. If we stick together, man, we can fix it up real good. There's lots of places we can run to up here. Mr. Cooper, we'd all be a lot better off if all three of us were working together.
Hey. Hey, kid.
He's wrong, you know. I'm not boxing myself in down there.
This radio station will remain on the air day and night.
Well, we're safe now. It's boarded up tight.
What about Tom and Judy?
They want to stay up there, let them. There are two other people upstairs, a man and a girl.
We heard the screaming.
Yeah, but I didn't know who they were, and I wasn't about to take any unnecessary chances.
Of course not, Harry.
Is she all right?
I don't know what it is. She feels warm. Maybe it's shock.
Where'd you get the bandage?
Some laundry in a basket. I tore a sheet.
Let them stay upstairs. Let them. Too many ways those monsters can get in up there. We'll see who's right. We'll see when they come begging me to let them in down here.
That's important, isn't it?
What?
To be right, everybody else to be wrong.
What do you mean by that?
Does anyone up there know why we're being attacked?
Whatever it isn't just happening here. It's some kind of mass murder. It's going on everywhere. The radio said to stay inside.
Radio?
Radio upstairs. I heard a news bulletin.
There's a radio upstairs and you boarded us in down here?
I know what I'm doing.
What did it say?
Nothing. Nothing. They don't know anything yet. There's mass murder everywhere, and people are supposed to look for a safe place to hide.
Take the boards off that door.
We are staying down here, Helen.
Harry, that radio is at least some kind of communication. If the authorities know what's happening, well, they'll send people for us to tell us what to do. How are we going to know what's going on if we lock ourselves in this dungeon? We may not enjoy living together, but dying together isn't going to solve anything. Those people aren't our enemies.
Mr. Cooper! Mr. Cooper, Ben found a television set upstairs.
Let's go up. Tom?
Yeah.
If Judy would come downstairs for a few minutes, Harry and I could come upstairs.
Okay, yeah, right away.
Will you do it?
Do I have to?
Look, honey, nothing's gonna get done with them down there and us up here. Do this for me.
Okay.
Okay, open up.
I'll take good care of her, Helen.
She's all I have.
Why don't you go upstairs now?
Her brother was killed.
Hey, give me a hand with this thing.
I gotta go help Ben with the television.
Don't be afraid of me. I'm Helen Cooper, Harry's wife.
This place is ridiculous. Look at this. There's a million weak spots up here. Give me one of those.
Her brother was killed.
And they talk about these windows. I can't see a damn thing. There could be 15 million of those things out there. That's how much good these windows are.
Why don't you do something to help somebody?
Here I have it. Drag a couple of those chairs together.
There's a socket over here. You better watch this and try to understand what's going on. I don't want anyone's life on my hands.
Is there anything I can do to help?
I don't want to hear any more from you, mister. If you stay up here, you take orders from me. And that includes leaving the girl alone.
It's on, it's on.
There's no sound. Play with the rabbit ears.
Reports, incredible as they seem, are not the results of mass hysteria.
Mass hysteria. What do they think? We're imagining all this? Shut up!
In all parts of the country. The wave of murder which is sweeping the eastern third of the nation is being committed by creatures who feast upon the flesh of their victims. First eyewitness accounts of this grisly development came from people who were understandably frightened and almost incoherent. Officials and newsmen at first discounted those eyewitness descriptions as being beyond belief. However, the reports persisted. Medical examinations of some of the victims bore out the fact that they had been partially devoured. I think we have some late word just arriving, and I'll interrupt to bring this to you. This is the latest disclosure in a report from National Civil Defense Headquarters in Washington. It has been established that persons who have recently died have been returning to life and committing acts of murder. A widespread investigation of reports from funeral homes, morgues, and hospitals has concluded that the unburied dead are coming back to life and seeking human victims. It's hard for us here to believe what we're reporting to you, but it does seem to be a fact. When this emergency first began, radio and television was advising people to stay inside, behind locked doors for safety. Well, that situation has now changed, and we're able to report a definite course of action for you. Civil defense machinery has been organized to provide rescue stations with food, shelter, medical treatment, and protection by armed National Guardsmen. Stay tuned to the broadcasting stations in your local area for this list of rescue stations. This list will be repeated throughout our news coverage. Look for the name of the rescue station nearest you and make your way to that location as soon as possible.
So we have that truck. If we can get some gas, we can get out of here.
There's a pump out by the shed.
I know, that's why I pulled in here, but it's locked.
Called this afternoon by the President. Since convening this conference of the Presidential Cabinet, the FBI, the Joint Chiefs of Staff, the CIA has not produced any public information. Why are space experts being consulted about an Earthbound emergency? Well, so far, all the betting on the answer to that question centers on the recent Explorer satellite shot to Venus. That satellite, you'll recall, started back to Earth, but never got here. That's the space vehicle which orbited Venus and then was purposely destroyed by NASA when scientists discovered it was carrying a mysterious high-level radiation with it. Could that radiation be somehow responsible for the wholesale murders we're now suffering? Newsman Don Quinn in Washington has posed those questions.
It's obvious our best move is to try to get out of here.
How are you going to get over to that pump?
Look!
You're coming from a meeting regarding the explosion of the Venus probe, is that right?
Yes, that was the subject of the meeting.
You feel there is a connection between this and the phenomenon?
There's a definite connection. A definite connection.
In other words, you feel that the radiation on the Venus probe is enough to cause these mutations?
There was a very high degree of radiation.
Well, just a minute. I'm not sure that that's certain at all. I don't think that has been
logical
irrefutably
explanation that we
proved.
have at this time.
In other words, it is the military's viewpoint that the radiation is not the cause of the mutation.
I can't speak for the entire military at this time, gentlemen.
This seems to
I
be...
must disagree with these gentlemen presently until this is irrefutably proved.
everything is being done that can be done.
We'll have to hurry for our next meeting.
Professor, you feel that there is a definite connection between
them? Definite connection as far as Dr. Keller and myself.
Doctor, please. I thought we decided that is not proved yet.
Was the satellite, when the satellite was exploded?
An unusual amount of radiation, enough to cause mutation under certain circumstances.
Could have happened.
Have a bearing on it.
It does seem to have a bearing.
Will there be a reply for this further?
Later?
Yes.
There will be a reply.
Yes.
Later this afternoon. There will be a report this afternoon.
Perhaps there will be a report, a full report. Will you close the window?
We are doing everything possible to solve the problem.
We're hoping to get some further explanation of this.
We've heard all we need to know. We have to try to get out of here.
He said the rescue stations had doctors and medical supplies. If we could get Karen there, we could get help for her.
Belknap is one of the world's foremost authorities on space science and technology.
Willard. I saw a sign that said Willard.
It's only about 17 miles from here.
You know this area. You from around here?
Judy and I are both from around here. We were on our way up to the lake to go swimming. And Judy had a radio, and we heard the first reports about this. So we knew the old house was here, and we came in and found the lady upstairs dead. Then these other people came. We went down into the basement and put a bar across the door, and it is pretty strong.
How could we possibly get away from here? We've got a sick child, 2 women, 1 woman out of her head, 3 men, and the place is surrounded with these things.
For NASA. Dr. Grimes, your entire staff, I know, has been working very hard to find some solution to these things that are happening. Do you have any answers at this time?
Yes, we have some answers. But first, let me stress the importance of seeking medical attention for anyone who's been injured in any way. We don't know yet what complications might result from such injuries.
How bad has your kid been hurt?
Good advice, Doctor. Now, how about the basic problem patients? Well,
Look, you go down there and tell... Now, Judy? Yeah, you tell Judy to come up here and you stay with the kid, all right?
In the cold room at the university, we had a cadaver from which all 4 limbs had been amputated. Sometime early this morning, it opened its eyes and began to move its trunk. It was dead, but it opened its eyes and tried to move.
They want you upstairs. Did she ask for me?
She hasn't said anything.
I don't understand. Baby. It's Mommy.
I heard. I'll come back down as soon as I find out what they want.
Thank you, Judy.
The body should be disposed of at once, preferably by cremation.
Well, how long after death, then, does the body become reactivated?
It's only a matter of minutes.
Minutes? Well, that doesn't give people time to make any arrangements.
No, you're right. It doesn't give them time to make funeral arrangements. The bodies must be carried to the street and burned. They must be burned immediately. Soak them with gasoline and burn them. The bereaved will have to forego the dubious comforts that a funeral service will give. They're just dead flesh and dangerous.
I see.
Judy, I need you to find some bedspreads or sheets to tear up into small strips, okay? Is there a fruit cellar here?
Yes.
We need some bottles or jars to make Molotov cocktails and hold them off while we try to escape.
Hey, there's a big can of kerosene down there.
I'll see what I can find.
I'll look for the bottles.
There's a big key ring down there. There may be a key to the gas pump on it.
I'll check.
We can toss the cocktails from a window upstairs. Meantime, a couple of us can go out and try to get the gas and come back for the rest of the people.
But that'll leave a door open someplace.
Yeah, that's right. It better be this door. It's closer to the truck. Before we go out, we'll put some supplies behind the cellar door. While we're gone, the rest of you can hold up in there.
I found some fruit jars in the cellar. And there's a key on here that's labeled for the gas pump out back.
I'm not really that used to the truck. I found it abandoned.
I can handle the truck, no sweat.
You're it, then. You and I'll go. We'll put whatever lumber we find behind the cellar door. You can go upstairs and toss the cocktails from a window. Tom, you and I will have to unboard this door. After you toss the cocktails, you hustle back down here and lock this door. It's no good to board it up because we'll have to get back in quickly. After we get the gas and get back into the house, then we'll worry about getting everybody into the truck. Now let's move it.
No place to flee for safety, except to the rescue stations which have been set up. Indications are that before this emergency is over, we will need many, many more such rescue stations.
You always have a smile for me. How can you smile like that all the time? How many do you have done? Come on, honey, we gotta move.
Tom, are you sure about the phone?
The phone is dead out. all you get is a recorded message.
If I could only call the folks. They're going to be so worried about us.
Everything will be all right. As soon as we get to Willard, we'll call them. They might even be there.
I know. Tom. Are you sure we're doing the right thing, Tom?
What, about getting out of here?
Yeah.
Well, the television said that's the right thing to do. We've got to get to a rescue station.
I don't know.
Come on, honey. You're starting to sound like Mr. Cooper now.
But why do you have to go out there?
Look, I know how to handle that truck, and I can handle the pump. Ben doesn't know anything about that stuff.
But we're safe in here.
For how long, honey? We're safe now. But there's going to be more and more of those things.
I know all that.
Hey, listen. Remember when we had the big flood? Remember how difficult it was for us to convince you that it was right to leave? Remember we had to go to Willard then? This isn't a passing thing, honey. It's not like just a wind passing through. We've got to do something, and fast.
I just don't want you to go out there, that's all.
Hey, Smiley. Where's that big smile for me? Boy, you're sure no use at all, aren't you? We've got work to do, honey. And you...
We better get her downstairs.
We have to go downstairs now, Barbara.
She's right. You have to go downstairs now, just for a little while, until we get back. Then we can all leave.
Oh, I'd like to leave. Yes.
Good luck.
Yeah.
You ready upstairs? Yeah. Okay, toss 'em.
Go ahead, go on.
I'm going with him.
Get back in the cellar.
I'm going.
It's too late. It's too late.
Well, as you're coming, come on. Get in.
Gonzo.
Watch the torch!
You gotta get away from the pump. Hang on.
Tom! Turn your cars and get out of the truck!
Let's get out of here. Come on, come on.
My jacket's caught.
Drag you out there and feed you those things.
Isn't it 3 o'clock yet? There's supposed to be another broadcast at 3 o'clock.
10 minutes.
Oh, only 10 more minutes? We don't have very long to wait. We can leave. Oh, we better leave soon. It's 10 minutes to 3.
You know anything about this area at all? I mean, is Willard the nearest town?
I don't know. We were just trying to get to a motel before dark.
You said those things turned your car over. You think we can get it back on its wheels and drive it? Where is it?
Seems like it was pretty far away. Seems like we ran.
Forget it. It's at least a mile.
Johnny has the keys.
You're gonna carry that child a mile through that army of things out there?
I can carry the kid. What's wrong with her? How'd she get hurt?
One of those things grabbed her.
Bit her on the arm.
What's wrong?
Who knows what kind of disease those things carry? Is she conscious?
Barely.
She can't walk. She's too weak.
Well, one of us could try to get to the car.
You gonna turn it over by yourself?
You can't start the car. Johnny has the keys.
You have a car? Where? Where is it?
You won't be able to start it.
Yeah, I know. But where is it?
Good Lord.
Being monitored closely by scientists at all the radiation detection stations. At this hour, they report the level of the mysterious radiation continues to increase steadily. So long as this situation remains, government spokesmen warn that dead bodies will continue to be transformed into the flesh-eating ghouls. All persons who die during this crisis, from whatever cause, will come back to life to seek human victims unless their bodies are first disposed of by cremation. Our news cameras have just returned from covering such a search and destroy operation against the ghouls, this one conducted by Sheriff Conan McClellan in Butler County, Pennsylvania. So now let's go to that film report. All law enforcement agencies and the military have been organized to search out and destroy the marauding ghouls. The Survival Command Center at the Pentagon has disclosed that a ghoul can be killed by a shot in the head or a heavy blow to the skull. Officials are quoted as explaining that since the brain of a ghoul has been activated by the radiation, the plan is kill the brain and you kill the ghoul.
Anything from the supply wagon, Cuz?
No, we're all right. Hey, Cass, put that thing all the way in the fire. We don't want it getting up again. All right, I got you.
Chief McClellan, how's everything going?
Oh, things aren't going too bad. Men are taking it pretty good. You want to get on the other side of the road over there?
Chief, do you think we'll be able to defeat these things?
Well, we killed 19 of them today right in this area. Those last 3 we caught trying to claw their way into an abandoned shed. They must have thought somebody was in there. There wasn't, though. We heard them making all kind of noise. We came over and beat them off, blasted them down.
Chief, as soon as you're finished, can I see you here?
Yeah, okay.
Chief, if I were surrounded by 6 or 8 of these things, would I stand a chance with them?
Well, there's no problem. If you had a gun, shoot them in the head. That's a sure way to kill them. If you don't, get yourself a club or a torch. Beat them or burn them. They go up pretty easy.
Well, Chief McClellan, how long do you think it will take you until you get the situation under control?
Well, that's pretty hard to say. We don't know how many of them there are. We know when we find them, we can kill them.
Are they slow-moving, Chief?
Yeah, they're dead. They're all messed up.
Well, in time, would you say you ought to be able to wrap this up in 24 hours?
Well, we don't really know. We know we'll be into it most of the night, probably into the early morning. We're working our way toward Willard, and we'll team up with the National Guard over there, and then we'll be able to give a more definite view.
Thank you very much, Chief McClellan. This is Bill Cardill, WIC TV 11 News.
Thank you, Bill, for that report. Official spokesmen declined to speculate just how long it may take to kill off all the flesh eaters, so long as the heavy rain...
Is the
fuse box in the cellar?
I don't know. It isn't the fuse. The power lines are down. Helen, I have to get that gun.
Haven't you had enough?
Look, 2 people are dead already on account of that guy. Take a look out that window. Get...
Vince, Al. You want to get about 4 or 5 men and a couple dogs? There's a house over here behind those trees. We want to go check it out.
Thank
you.
you.
Still here, Bill?
Yeah, Chief, we're going to stay with it till we meet up with the National Guard.
Where'd you get the coffee?
One of the volunteers. You're doing all the work. You take it.
Thank you. We should be wrapped up here about 3 or 4 more hours. We'll probably get into Willard then. I guess you can go over there and meet the National Guard. Nick, you and the rest of these men want to come with me?
Well, Bill, I'm checking the office, see what's happening.
All right, Steve. Tell them we're going to stay with it, and everything appears to be under control.
Down there by the barn. Okay. Some of these guys can follow the wagon down. I only need a few men to check out the house. Somebody had a cookout here, Vince.
Yeah, sure looks like it, Cop.
He's a dead one. Get up here. Nick, Tony, Steve, you want to get out in that field and build me a bonfire? You, drag that out of here and throw it on the fire.
Nothing down here.
All right, go ahead down and give him a hand. Let's go check out the house, man.
There's something there. I heard a noise.
All right, Vince, hit him in the head, right between the eyes. Good shot. Okay, he's dead. Let's go get him. That's another one for the fire.
Send the wagon through directly on over.
Keep those dogs back off of those things.
Go more quickly.
Please. Let's go, back there. That's the way. Hey, Randy, light these torches over here.